What is up, y'all? It is your girl M, the genuine Jane of many trades. The last episode of Just Ask M of the year. Decided to do one with yours truly. I've been so blessed to have a consistency of guests for several months, which I am super grateful for. Started this podcast March of 2025, and here we are going into 2026. So I'm bragging a little bit, not even a year, and I like to think I've been doing my thing, keeping it strong and just getting better every day. But allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Emily, aka M. By day, I am a personal assistant to a therapist at his office, and he does mental health. I have a home care client who I love very dearly, like family. Been with him, it'll be a year in February. I enjoy that very much. Those are the things that fund my dreams and my future goals of the full entrepreneur and my own boss. I have my small event planning business, M's Escapes and Events, which provides hosting, coordinating, organizing events or concierge service at your parties or establishments. That has grown quite well over the past few months, and I'm excited about it because it seems to just be going up. I also have M's One Stop Shop, which is design and organization. I was a previous design consultant, which I loved very much. We all know commission jobs don't really work, when you don't have, when you ain't balling like that and bills don't wait for you to pay them. So I still turned the passion into my own thing and helping with smaller scale organization projects or all the way up to if you still want a custom made space. I have people at California Closets that can still assist you with those sort of things. So I love that very much. Daily functionality, order in daily life and organization are very real things and important ingredients to kind of just leading a peaceful and less chaotic life. And then last but not least and most recently, Just Ask M podcast. I had no idea what to expect when I started it. Fast forward to what it became and what it is now. I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm very happy I decided to, go for it and not let fear prevent me from, really exceeding the potential I knew I had, but had an idea of, well, what else can I do with it? And really all stemmed from, I kind of always had a thought process of a podcast, but just in conversation, on a radio station, talking, and the question of, you ever think about doing a podcast? And I actually took action on it, and here we are. So that's my brief reintroduction. 2025, I don't think there's much that I would change about it. It's been a great year. Learned so much about myself. Each year that goes by, I learn more and more what it actually means to be after 30. Take care of your body. Take care of your health. Self-care is a very real thing. Your mental health, your emotional, definitely your physical, and your spiritual, if that is your cup of tea, if you will. But one thing I will say is in this last year, I've taken care of my spiritual like I've never had before. And I've always been in church my whole life, Christian, followed it always. Obviously, as humans, we veer sometimes, we stray. We're human, have grace with yourself, be patient. Everybody makes mistakes. I don't care how perfect you are, how high you are up in the church, whatever the case may be. Everybody makes mistakes. It is okay to start over. It's okay to forgive yourself and forgive others. And if you got to keep starting over right where you woke up or where something happened and you weren't happy with it, then you do that and you build it right back up and you just keep going. I hope this is a season of people not, being too hard on themselves. Forgive others, forgive yourself, so you can genuinely live freely. That's what I've learned over the years too. Them people who you're mad at or holding on to stuff or dwelling, they ain't thinking nothing about you. Their life is still going on. They're still accomplishing things in life. They're still living their best life. Whatever the case is, if it's something you don't have closure with, shoot, hit them up. But like, listen, this is still bothering me. This is still on my mind. I ain't felt right about it, whatever the case is. But talk about it, communication. People out here are hurting, people walking around jacked up. You might be angry or bitter. You might just need a hug. Listen, and if you need a hug from somebody, find somebody you're comfortable with. Get that hug. Cry it out. Break down, whatever the case is. I understand you can't do that in front of everybody. I get it. I genuinely do. But man, take care of yourself. To keep going through life holding on to stuff that's not benefiting you, that's negative, that's weighing you down. All you're doing is really blocking your blessing. But with saying all that, I'm just so blessed and grateful. Like, it's just been a great year. Just so many things have aligned beyond what I ever could have imagined. I made so many new connections. I feel like I'm in a realm of, I genuinely put the hard work in. I've built so much from the ground up. I've worked on being patient. I've worked on being faithful and obedient, and not only finding happiness from within, but being joyful in everything, and joyful in the good, the bad, when your account looks crazy, when you thought something was going to happen and it didn't, when a friendship, a relationship, a job opportunity or something didn't work out. I genuinely understand, like, dang, it feels so much better when I just keep my head up, stay smiling, do my best to focus on the positive things that have happened more than the negative, the things that I do have, despite of what I don't have. And sometimes what we don't have, do we even really need it? Or is it a blessing not having it at all, or not having it in that moment? And that's been another big lesson too. I was just talking to my girlfriend about it today is, man, just you look back sometimes and like relationships and us being women and the things you do, and Lord, what we're rethinking. So just focusing on those things is just learning. And like I said, we're human. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay to have the need to reach out and ask for help, ask for advice. That's fine. Sometimes you get so caught up with life. You get foggy brain from trying to just keep up with work. If you got kids, the daily stresses of life, finances, like adulting was so underestimated with our parents, because why didn't y'all ever tell us like what it really meant, or what you had to go through just to get this rent paid, have a car, put some gas in that car, if you want to be fabulous and have luxuries like nails or things like that. This is not easy. And then you got people like me who are crazy enough to try to accomplish entrepreneurship. If you are an entrepreneur and you got your own business, or you are starting it, or you have been successful at maintaining it this year, pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. If you still have your sanity, good for you. You have made it. That is an accomplishment in itself. It genuinely is. Like, it's definitely not for the weak. So yeah, like if you kept moving forward despite the lack of support, the things you thought that would have been and weren't, if you hit roadblocks, if you hit things that just made you want to give up and quit and say there's no way I'm going to be able to do this, or you didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel or an end to things, if they were just repeatedly going bad, but you decided to push through it, good for you. Pat yourself on the back. That's an accomplishment. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Treat yourself to a trip if you got it. Treat yourself to something as small as a cup of coffee in a coffee shop and nobody bothering you. We have to learn to be excited about the small things, celebrate the small things. And anybody around you, if they say, oh, that's just so small, you know what? You celebrate what you want to celebrate, but I'm going to celebrate this. Because at the end of the day, if it's something that matters to you, if it's something that you know you have overcome or you've accomplished that maybe people in your own family have never accomplished, be proud of it. Small accomplishments and progress, any progress is still progress. Small accomplishments are still an accomplishment. And if you got through it, that's still more than some can say that they did. Because a lot of the time, people who may be discouraging you, might not support, might try to talk you out of things. Usually those are a reflection of the things that they are fearful of, that they can't either see within themselves, or they are too fearful to take the risk or take the first step to do them. So like I said, if that's something you decided to do, you've won. You took the hardest part is usually starting. If you started and if you got to step 2, if you got to step 3, you've already won, because you've already done more than you did the day before. So despite what society says, social media, cultures, certain mindsets, whatever the case is, the wrong folks, we're not listening to that. And like I always say, it's not that you're not going to take suggestions and advice from people. Absolutely not. Those are so beneficial when you're going through your process of growth, whether you're starting something brand new, if you're deciding to become an entrepreneur or go into business, that sort of thing. Suggestions and advice are free information that can help you save about 5 to 10 steps, depending what it is. Now, opinions, that's a little different, because depends who it's coming from, what place is that opinion coming from. You know, some people like, no, not everybody knows it all. Not everybody knows your craft or your vision the way you may know it. So even if you have to politely decline what they're suggesting, that's okay too. Or if it's something you want to use or use later on, that's also okay. But I think it's also very important to be careful where you get, even your advice or suggestions for. Hi, Winnie, co-star Winnie. Hi, baby. Mwah. You gonna eat my mic? And then this is my fur daughter, who continues to steal a lot of money out of my account. This is her apartment. I just pay the rent. Right, Winnie? Yes, this is my baby girl, my Winnie Binnie. She's 3. It will be 3 years in January since I've had you, baby girl. You were my little New Year's miracle. I love you. Mwah. Yes. So this beautiful queen, she's my therapy. She is a happy place. She's one of the happiest people to see me when I get back home. Is one of my best friends. All my other best friends, don't be hating. It's okay. Speaking of hating too, if you a hater, if you envious, if you're jealous, if you're insecure, if you dimming somebody else's shine because yours isn't shining as bright as you want, ain't nobody thinking about you. Ain't nobody worried about you. Ain't nobody got love for you. But you're entitled to get some love too. And all the haters, the jealous people, the insecure people too, believe it or not, they got a story too. Why are you like that? Why are your ways like that? At the end of the day, like, so many things stem from upbringing, previous relationships, family relationships, traumas from childhood all the way up to adulthood, because there's no age limit on traumas either. So I understand that, like, yes, they say be kind to everyone. To be in God's image is to love everyone in the love of God. You can dislike, you don't have to support somebody's sin if it's not, what you believe in or follow. But we are supposed to love everybody equally, because that's what God not only does for them, but he does for us on a daily basis. And I get it sometimes as humans. Sometimes there are some folks that you could intentionally trip down the stairs, hope they break a heel. You just want to get out the car and slap some common sense into them. Trust me. I get it. Y'all done seen how much I was in my car this year and how much I drive, and I got to commute from here, there, and everywhere. And Lord, let me tell you, it takes the strength of God sometimes to be like, Lord, I'm a child of God. Let's skip on flipping this finger today. Hallelujah. But with that being said, like, at one point or another, we do have to elevate our mindset that, despite that rude person, despite the person behind the customer service counter with the bad attitude, with the just stank mouth and this and that, they got a story too, man. They're probably coming home to something that if you came home to, you'd probably be the same way or maybe even worse. So as hard as it is to have that mindset and look at things like that or address people in those kind of ways, we got to try. And then there are some people that, you know what, you want to stay miserable? Cool, you could stay right there. That's a personal problem. That's beyond what I can do for you. That's more than I can help you with. Bring it to God. Hallelujah. Call my therapy office if you need an appointment. I don't know. And that's fine too. But one of the things I can say, I've traveled a lot this year. Thank you, Jesus, because I've been very blessed to travel more than I probably ever have. Had great trips, many weekend trips. I made it to Mexico. I made it to New York. I made it to California for a week to spend time with my grandma. Around this time of year, it's not the happiest for everyone. That's another thing to take into consideration. I personally have lost loved ones, so just that mindfulness, common sense, just thinking a little more elevated than the easy way of being selfish. You ain't the only one going through stuff. You ain't the only one who's had a bad day. You ain't the only one who's lost somebody. You ain't the only one living check to check. You ain't the only one with what seems like bad luck or unfortunate series of events. You're not. And it's not to dismiss or take away or empathize with if that is the case for you. But with that being said, in this last year, I ain't never seen such a disgusting amount of entitlement and thinking somebody owes you something. Don't nobody owe you a darn thing. Ain't nobody obligated to give you anything, to do anything for you just because you think you deserve it, or you pretty, or you got this and that, or you look good. Absolutely not. So like the level of entitlement, the level of ungratefulness there's a lot of things I can tolerate, but that, nah. Us in America, we are so disgustingly blessed in comparison to like the rest of the world. I hate politics because it's so contradicting. It's so confusing. It's so corrupt. Like I hate it, but I understand there's certain things you do have to be mindful of and educated and up to date on. But we do not have anything to complain about. I mean, like as I sit in my apartment, there's people who ain't got a couch. There's people who ain't got a bed. There's people who might want a dog and can't afford a dog. There's people who ain't got heat. There's people, I live in a studio apartment. Because of my design and organization background, I just know how to maximize it. There's people who ain't even got a room this big. There's people who ain't got a shower. There's people who don't know where their next meal is coming from. There's people who can't even think about the thought of being fabulous and getting a full set or getting a pedicure, or I want a tattoo today. I want a piercing today. I want to get my hair done, this and that. We have so much more than we actually need that I genuinely think people don't slow down enough to really think about that. Like to really sit there, if it's in your car, if it's in your apartment, if you're your own boss and you're sitting in your business, really just sitting there and like taking 5 minutes to just look around and be like, look at, I did this, I accomplished this. Or even if it's with the support of others or people who love you, your people, your tribe, your family, your support, your significant other, like, dang, we did this. I built this. I accomplished this. I got through this. I overcame this. I was blessed, and then I was able to bless others. How many people watching can say that? I was blessed, so I helped others. I was given so much, so I decided to give to the next person and pass it along. So like, what is life? Like, what is your definition of life? Are you just living and just going through this life and surviving and making it through? Do you have a true talent and you're just working this 9 to 5 because, well, it's what society says, it's security, it's, it's convenient, it's comfort. Are you happy there? Are you happy in your relationship? Or are you in a situationship? Are you settling for less because the fear of being alone or thinking you're never going to find somebody again? Are you hanging around that friend because that's the only one who keeps showing up and it's convenient because it's easy to be friends with them? Like, what are we doing? So on social media, everybody's living their best life, aren't we all? But like, how are you genuinely feeling when you check in with yourself? You're at home, not surrounded by anything, anybody. All the distractions are put to the side. The drinks are put down. The social media is turned off. How do you feel within yourself? Do you feel like you are chasing? Do you feel like you are finding certain things and people? Are you just doing things to do things? Are you having the thing of FOMO, just fear of missing out, that you're just here, there, and everyone because, oh, I'm expected to be. If there's anything that I've developed very strongly over the past year or so, when I gotta say no, I will politely say no. If I am not available, I am not available. If I am not feeling up to it, I will not be there. If I hung around you a couple times and I don't feel like you are benefiting me in a positive way, pouring into me or helping me elevate and grow, I love you, but I got to love you from a distance, and I can't hang around you on a consistent basis. If I hang out with you, or if I am in a certain place and when I leave, I feel drained, or I don't feel as good as when I went there or got with you, nah. Unapologetically, sorry, not sorry. No. Because it's not worth sacrificing my peace or my sanity for anything or anybody, family included. Give it to God. Let go and let God. At the end of the day, one of the biggest freeing things for me has been minding my business, staying in my path, creating my own lane, humbly and confidently, and understanding that people pleasing is as good as perfectionist or perfect, which don't exist. So why would I invest my time and energy and try to people please? For what? To have people like me? I got people I've known for years and years who haven't even supported my business journey yet. So like, I have had to learn the art of politely not giving a you know what. And it's beautiful. It has been beautiful. I love saying no when it's genuinely what I feel. I love gracefully disconnecting myself from people who I just feel like may not be my people anymore or just aren't included in this part of my journey. And that's okay. And I think what people misunderstand is, oh, well, because I stopped talking to you or not reaching out or we're not hanging out anymore, it's like this bad blood, or if I see you, I'm going to act all corny. No, I'm definitely going to say like, what's up to you? And I'm probably like a puppy who just is so loyal and forgets like, hi, how are you? And I might not even know if you're still mad at something for 3, 4, 5 years ago. But like, it genuinely shows when you're comfortable within yourself, when you've worked on yourself, when you've come to peace with things in your life. Even if it is something that didn't end in the best way, but if you see a familiar face or you see somebody out, just having the level of maturity and kindness to be like, you know what? Hey, what's up? How are you? Because what's in the past is in the past. You can't change it unless you have a time machine that can rewind time so you can redo the things that you might want to change or you feel like you regret or it didn't turn out the way you thought. What is the point of holding on to it? What is the point of dwelling on it, investing any amount of energy on something you literally cannot change how it happened or what people were in your life and may not be anymore? Live from this current point and on. And even to a point, don't live so far in the future that you're missing out on being in the present. That's another thing too. Sometimes y'all be focused on trying to control things so much that you're not even focused on what you already accomplished, where you are currently, and what you already have to look forward to without being so controlling, without trying to make things be what you think they should be, how you think they should be, when you think they should be. No. And I'm so passionate about it and I speak so confidently about it because I used to do it. I was that person. I like to control. I'm very OCD. I'm a perfectionist, this and that. I have anxiety at times, and these things are still current. And guess what? That is okay. But what I have mastered is learning how to channel them, which is why I stay so busy, which is why I have so many businesses, which is why I'm probably so efficient and have the art of pumping out so much content the way I do, because I learned to channel it. I found my niche, and I now understand how to channel my energy into those things so it doesn't pour into my daily life, my relationships, my work relationships, whatever the case is, to a point of making it negative or affecting other people. Hurt people hurt people. I was that person. I was a hurt person hurting people at one point in my life. But I can't change that. I can't change things I did in the past. I can't change things I might have said that hurt or offended people. I can't change things that I said out of emotions because at that time I didn't know how to control my emotions. And that's okay. I am okay with that. But what makes me feel better is I addressed it, I accepted it, I became aware of it, and I worked on it. And every day that I wake up, I'm still a work in progress. I'm still always working on being better and doing better, because it doesn't matter if you are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. My home care client is 65, and I have to talk to him like a child sometimes because he is still learning. So age is nothing but a number. It does not define maturity. Experience outweighs age more than anything, because there could be a 10-year-old who's experienced more life than me, and I'm 35. So like, we have to look at the bigger picture sometimes. We have to break the generational curses. We have to work on the narrow-mindedness. We have to work on the certain mindsets that literally are preventing you from reaching your full potential and accomplishing things that you probably can't even envision right now. So like I said, whether it's if you're into being spiritual or Christian or praying, whatever the case is, focus on something that's going to help you elevate, grow, and become better daily. And in the midst of that, how can you help others? How can you be a testimony for others? How can you be hope? How can you be motivation? How can you be encouragement for others who may be struggling with what you were struggling at one point? Because I don't care what stage you are at life. You could be killing the game. You could be doing it. You could be a CEO. You could have businesses. You could have done X amount of sales, this and that. And guess what? You still started at ground zero. You still started at the beginning, rock bottom, whatever the case is. You started out at one point. And I always hold on to the one Bible plan that I read, and I loved how she said it. It said, don't forget about anybody. Don't completely cut off anybody. Because at the end of the day, the people who might be not below you, but less experienced or younger than you could be their mentor. Then the people who are at your level, that's great to be around because you might be helping each other. And then it's also great to surround yourself by people who are doing better or more than you, because that's how you continue to grow and learn. So don't put your nose up like you're looking down on anybody, but keep your head up and be confident in what you know your potential is, what you know your value is, and what you know you can accomplish. Body language and posture is a very real thing. So at the end of the day, with all the Instagram pages I have, trust and believe there is a method to the madness. Because everything from the event planning to design and organization to my podcast to now my fashion page, that's another thing I started this year. They actually all relate to each other, which is crazy, because balance in everything is the key to life. If you have balance in certain things in life, you have mastered life. You have learned what the key to life is and staying sane and winning at the game of this thing we call life. So body language, demeanor, mannerisms, kindness, education, business, professionalism, outer appearance, how you carry yourself, that is self-care and an investment within yourself. So all my businesses up until this point, trust and believe, they're puzzle pieces all the way down the line. Buffalo, New York, as I've traveled frequently, I do notice the difference in some things of there's a lot of oppression here, defensiveness, not a lot of people happy or smiling, and competition and insecurity and jealousy, and immaturity, and that's very concerning. But slowly but surely, I think that is fading out, and people are collaborating more, people are coming together more, cultures are mixing now. People are focusing on mental health more, and I love it. I think that's great. I hope that continues in 2026. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to break the old habits, break the old mindsets. Don't isolate in an unhealthy way just because you don't want to be around people who are going to challenge you to opening your eyes to new things, changing your mindsets, or helping you grow. It's absolutely scary. The fear of the unknown is a very real thing. But to a point, you do have to get past that, let go of the excuses, because nothing that comes easy is usually worth it. So I think it's important to kind of challenge yourself, put yourself outside of your comfort zone, push yourself a little, not so much, that it's just going to be detrimental to you, obviously. But challenge yourself this year, get out of your comfort zones. It's funny because you probably think, oh, she's so good on camera. Like, oh, she speaks so well, this and that. I'm so well put together. At one point or another, this was not occurring. But I do this, and I do my daily motivations, the daily videos, the content. A lot of the time, I'm doing it because I'm speaking right back to myself. At times, you don't get the motivation and support from the people you need it from all the time, or from the things you need it from, or in the moments that you need it. So at the end of the day, you either crumble, or you keep getting up, or you keep getting creative with the ways to, how am I going to self-motivate? People have problems of their own. People out here dealing with stuff worse than me. I can't always be a burden to others or constant complaining. Venting is cool. But at one point or another, you got to take a step back and realize what you do have, how blessed you are, and turn it into fuel. How can I make this work in my favor? How can I turn this into a strength? I did this 2 or 3 times, but it didn't work. What can I do differently to make it work? Because at the end of the day, if you're not dead, if you don't have a terminal illness that's, preventing you from being mobile or leading a normal daily life, what are you doing in your life? Are you waking up every day wanting better for yourself? If you are happy where you are, you're content, are you helping others get to that, space? Are you uplifting others? Are you pouring into other people who might not have the resources or benefits that you had while you were figuring it out or going through something difficult? Maybe you are blessed enough to come from a family that's not dysfunctional or, had good communication. Now you have a friend or colleague who didn't have that. How are you helping them to be like, hey, I know you're not fortunate to have had this growing up, or you might not be able to communicate with so-and-so, a significant other, whatever the case is, the way that I did. But what do you think this stems from? Okay, well, hey, you ever considered therapy? Just helping people. That is what humanity is supposed to be. Kindness, loving one another, working together, collaboration, not competition, allowing people a safe space to be vulnerable enough that if they're not okay, they can talk about that, cry it out, have a drink, whatever the case is, sit there and have some good quality time or good company and be better and keep growing and building up from that. That's definitely what humanity is supposed to be. And that's all I want to see for the city of Buffalo. That's all I want to see in my circles, and really just people growing, being better and doing better and encouraging one another. So this is your girl M from Just Ask M. Let's end 2025 strong, but let's also go into 2026 stronger. Stay tuned. Your girl is staying busy out here. I'm just super excited. I'm grateful for everybody who has invested in me. Anybody who has given me an opportunity to advertise you, to show you off through my businesses and my reputation and my name, or has had confidence to allow me to do an event or party and help you out. I'm honored. I'm grateful, because without clients, I don't have a business. So I just hope we continue on that energy. That's all I'm trying to do in Buffalo, New York. If y'all got any suggestions or ideas of things that you want to see through all my businesses and personalities, reach out. I'm as busy as I am. That's one thing I say. don't ever hesitate to reach out, because even if I can't get to you immediately, at one point or another, I will find time to get to you. So I'm never too busy to help. I'm never too busy to, offer a word of advice. I'm never too busy if you need me to show up somewhere, or, you just want me to be present or support you and you've supported me, whatever the case is, or you think something is beneficial. Any friends, please. I told my friend the other day, I said, please, I'm so glad that you actually reached out to me to watch a movie, because I'm such a workaholic. I get so caught up in working that I forget I have to take a break sometimes and be social. So I always say, listen, you give me a 1 to 2 week heads up notice. That's what I've worked so hard towards, is being an entrepreneur and kind of my own boss, to make my own hours and schedule, because as much as I love working, family is just as important. Quality time is just as important. Friends, the right friends, traveling, living my life that I work so hard for, that is important, because that is balance. That's living life. So may 2026 bring you blessings, new connections, elevated mindsets, growth, comfort, peace. Don't fight new things or new relationships, new friendships, because you never know where they're going to take you. And also, don't be afraid to say no if you have to. You know what, this just isn't working for me. Working on the mental health, controlling the emotions. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Being kind to others, kind of just carrying yourself, with the respect and manners to other people, the way you would want to be treated. It's just flat out could be that simple, But through and through, if you're fortunate and blessed, just helping others, bringing others with you, uplifting, motivating, mentoring. Nobody doesn't lack the access to resources. If you want to educate yourself, be better, learn something, do something different, the resources are there. You just have to want it for yourself. And if you want change, or if you want a different outcome, that is never going to happen if you don't change your approach or learn to do something differently. And yes, that requires a certain amount of discipline. But if you make time for the things that are easy, that, you can blow money on, you can make time for it because it's fun, then you can do things to invest in yourself. Focus on that self-care and that self-love, because at the end of the day, this is the only life that we're given. This is the only body that we have to live in. So what are you doing to maintain and take care of it? So not only you can be the best version of yourself, but good for you before trying to be good for others. So thank you so much for joining the last episode of the year on Just Ask Em. I hope you continue to tune in and subscribe, and just, make 2026 even greater. God bless y'all.